Hello there, you're watching Syn-Star Tech Talk with Giles.
Hello.
And me, Samuel. Today we're going to be focusing on power backups. Is your business prepared for a power outage? So first and foremost, Giles, what is a power outage?
Well, there's two types really. You've got one which is absolute power outage, so as in a storm happens and your building has no power. The other one is if essentially it can be called dirty power, so spikes in power, things like that.
So of course this is Tech Talk, so we want to focus on technology. So I imagine that a power outage is inevitable. You don't know when it's going to happen, and it can happen at any moment. It could even happen during the working day. So when there is a power outage, what happens to the technology in a business?
Well, essentially, say for example you've got a computer or a server and the power's taken away, it will instantly go off. And that's really bad for things like the operating system, because that's when it can cause corruption. Things like servers don't like to instantly be turned off. They like to be properly shut down, so they put all their packages and pointers and stuff like that in the right place, shut down properly. Then when you turn it back on, they all know what's going on and they should start correctly. If you suddenly pull the power, they don't like it, and that's when you can get corruption, and then that's when it causes proper downtime. You know, you're talking hours or days to get back up and running.
And I can imagine, you know, with technology, when it goes wrong, it can go really wrong and increase that downtime. Yeah. In particular, as you've just touched on with a server, you know, when a server goes offline, it takes time for it to go online. You need to get various specialists in to help with you know, issues, etc. So tell me about a solution. You know, if people are fearful of a power outage, perhaps their office runs on a server. Like, what's a simple solution to ensure that if there is a power cut, that they'll be okay?
Okay, so I mean, at one end of the spectrum, it's things like backup generators and stuff like that. But that's when you're talking if you've got a building literally in the middle of nowhere, where power is quite an issue. Whereas, for example, let's say a modern day office block, generally power is pretty good, but it's more for the odd spike. A storm, stuff like that. Maybe someone, you know, plugs in an old kettle and it trips the power. That type of thing. So that's generally where you would go with something called a UPS, so an uninterrupted power supply. So, okay. In a nutshell, it's basically a car battery with a little computer on it. So what happens is you would essentially, from your mains power, you plug it through this UPS. Then the UPS plugs into the server or the computer. Essentially, if the power stops going into this, that's when essentially instantly the battery's there and it keeps the laptop, desktop, whatever it is running. Now, the thing is with a server is that it will generally have some software built into it, so that again, it's called a UPS, but let's say the battery, that will tell the server, right, I'm now running on my own steam, and then in, say, 15 minutes, if I still haven't got proper power back, then I'm going to shut you down safely.
So, in a nutshell, what would you say to people watching to just encourage them to explore the different avenues to get, you know, power support, power units?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you've got server, critical network equipment, backup drives, things like that, definitely have them plugged into a UPS. If you've got any business critical desktops, again, have them in. So, you know, for example, if you've got a main CAD machine that you might spend lots of time, you know, manipulating and rendering images, and for whatever reason you don't have it on auto save, you want the UPS so that you don't, lose a day's work.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, that's it for Tech Talk this week. We appreciate that you're busy, so we didn't want to keep you waiting and watching for long. So you may have lots of questions off the back of what Giles and I have discussed today. So if you're wanting to explore various issues that you may have or solutions to things such as a power outage, then please do contact us anytime. Details are on the screen. And of course, if you've got any questions, have any comments, anything, any ideas, even future videos, then please do let us know. But other than that, we'll leave you to it. Have a great week, and we will see you very soon.
Thank you.